it Monday. What's up, everybody? Monday morning, welcome to today's edition, Daily Market Commentary. Hope you guys all had a phenomenal weekend as we are going to take a look at our major markets from an educational perspective, looking for breakouts and reversals. We are continuing to come down, and what does that mean for your trading, for the markets? Leave a comment down below. What do you think is going to happen this week? Are we going to get a snapback rally? Are we going to continue to drop? Leave the comments down below. Really would appreciate it. Want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So S&P were down 16 points this morning, but we had a pretty big turnaround because in the beginning of the overnight session, we were actually trading a bit higher. When I looked at our live trading room last evening, we were doing our live trade room at tradersarmy.com, and we had said, listen, there's just not a lot of great supply from a reversal standpoint. Matter of fact, in the NASDAQ, we said that if you were real aggressive, you could take a breakout above this 14,583, but I really wanted to see what happened around the London Open. And lo and behold, we sold off pretty hard at around that time. And so we certainly never got any, move up above this 14,583 to give us an entrance. And we are just showing more continuation of our prior weakness. So the question I'm getting from a lot of people is, where can we be going, right? Where do we think we could be falling to, or where do we think that we're headed? And the answer to that, in all sincerity, is that where we're going is less relevant than how we're going. And what we're doing on our 4-hour chart is we're continuing our strong downward trend. And so last week's sell-off should not have been a surprise to anybody. We continued our downward trend and continued to move lower. And so we're going to look for that right now. Where would I get short? Well, if I'm going to look to the 15-minute chart, go to a smaller time frame, I think your best level is this area right here. This right here at 4,400. If we make it back to there, we may not make it back to that level if we continue to sell off throughout the day. But if we can make it back up to 4,400, I think that's a really nice reversal point for a potential trade. Now, your stop would probably be best to be up in this range. Above the pivot is really going to be best, but even above the leg-in candle would give you a little bit of room on a reversal. So I think that actually makes for a pretty good entrance. If I'm looking at the NQ, and I do the same thing, going down to the 15-minute chart, I would look in the NQ also maybe a bit higher in the NQ up into this region here. So the S&P being a bit weaker, we've got a little bit of a closer level. The NASDAQ a little bit stronger. NASDAQ's only down Actually, the NASDAQ's down a little bit more than the S&P today. So, but 14,475 by 14,511, you've got a little base drop with a decent reversal point in there. So I would say that those two areas would be the best reversal points for our S&P and our NASDAQ for short-term trading. Where do I think we're going big picture? We'll cover that in another video. I want to spend our smaller time frame, but needless to say, I feel like it's really we're gonna take a look at some larger picture, and even the weekly chart I think would be the place to go for something like that. Next, let's go take a look at our crude oil markets. I want to pop into crude oil right quick. And looking at our crude markets, we have looked at this 15-minute level last night as a potential reversal point. That was the origin of really the market starting to move last night. It was the opening session. Market rallied straight up out of there. We came back into there here in the last few minutes and have really done nothing. We've just kind of chopped around sideways. Not overly surprised, especially due to the fact that we got basing in front of the level, and basing in front of the level would be what we consider the KOD, the kiss of death, on some of these trades and some of these setups. So if we get basing right around here, I actually think you may get a little breakdown opportunity for price to go short. On the 4-hour trend, we are putting in a bit of a rollover potential. I still think that there's a trade going long above 86.78 with a proper breaking strategy, as long as we get enough basing. Gold doesn't really give us a whole lot of anything. Gold is really just chopping along sideways, not a whole lot to talk about. We did take a look at a couple of currencies last evening, one of which being the British pound. And this was really the best setup that we found last night on our trades, was the breakdown trade below this 35.43. So hopefully some of you are able to catch that trade. that was in our trade room last night. We've gotten a really nice move away from our entrance on that one, and it's continuing to drop. If you missed that and you're looking for an opportunity to get short and join the big picture trend, because our big picture trend has shifted to a downtrend, you don't have really quality demand for quite a while. So where would I get short? Well, look to get short at a retest of the support line, right? Old support oftentimes acts as new resistance, so look right around this 1.354 as a good place to get short in the pound. The other one that we looked at was the New Zealand dollar. This one actually just broke out, so there is still room for this one to drop, as this one just broke down out of this basing area here. That would be a continuation of our 4-hour downtrend, and so I think that actually still works for a pretty good trade. We did also look at the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar did not rally back up into our area of supply that we were really hoping for price to get into for a good short. It did, however, continue to drop, and as we continue to drop, we're coming into this 15-minute demand area. And that 15-minute demand area, let me go back a little bit further in time so I can pull it up, is really this rally base, very nice move away. It's formed at a pretty good time of the day, but as we're coming into it, we're showing a fair amount of basing. So at this point, I'm going to remove that area of demand because I don't think that it is going to make sense for our strongest entry. And I do like right here around the London Open, this area of supply as a potential short. All right. The euro, we don't have as much in the euro for trading opportunities. If I look at this on a 4-hour, you'll see that we are in a downtrend, but it's not a super strong one. There's a little bit of kind of consolidating. I think that we're better off to continue to look at shorts in the euro if you are looking for a place to get in on this one. You got a little wick over wick that was just formed right here. Looking at that on a smaller time period, like a 15-minute chart, that would be this little area right up in here, and that I think is a decent little day trade opportunity if you catch that before price moves away from that level. So those are some of our major future areas I think that make the most sense for today. Let me take a look real quick at our crypto futures, micro Bitcoin and micro Ether. Bitcoin did finally break down below 40,000, and it's really sold off hard once we got below 40,000. This was our breakout line that we anticipated. And now we're coming into this gap fill area where there is decent daily area of demand at this gap fill. So let's see if we get a break or a reversal at this gap fill for price to head back higher, which could happen. But on the 4-hour chart, I'm still short, right? The market's still telling me to be short, and it's not giving me a real strong entrance to get long. If we do get a snapback rally, look for selling opportunities, and the first selling opportunity that I would look for would be right up in here. I think that one makes the most sense. Looking at Ether, we did get, we do have this area, I think, up in here for, we got a couple of nice areas. This one here certainly is the most obvious, but then you have this one as well. Both, I think, make for good short retests on Ether. So those are the levels that I'm looking at for today. Overall, I'm going to continue to look for shorting opportunities in the markets as they come up and give us a good entry. If you guys have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Till tomorrow, everybody. Talk to you soon. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.